Good morning, everyone. Got your coffee? I got mine. So before I get started talking about what I want to talk about today, I want to say thank you, Danielle. Thank you. Thank you so much for your wonderful support of the Library Pantry and this platform. I appreciate you, sister. I'm going to be all over the place today because I have many thoughts running through my mind right now. Today is April the 30th, I believe. It's towards the end of the month. And you know, I don't know about anyone else, but I go into deep prayer this time of the month. Every month, and without fail. From now until like maybe about the middle of next week, I would just be praying like spontaneously. And the reason why I go into deep prayer, I don't know why I do that, to be honest with you, but I think when I think about the first of the month, I know what's going on in my community because I keep myself informed about what's going on in my actual community. And right now, what's going on in my community, I can't speak for your community where you are, but we're having a resurgence of people struggling with high rent right now. And I know what this country does to poor people. And especially poor Black people. And the rents are becoming so unaffordable. And I don't know what the answer is. There are so many people who are moving back home, and if you can do that, that's wonderful. But what about people like me? I don't mean like me. I mean, I'm okay in that regard. But I mean, people like me who do not have close family ties because we had to break ties because of toxic family members for our own mental health and well-being. Or what if you were adopted, or you're an orphan or an only child and your parents are deceased? What do you do when you're just out here struggling? We can't fall into this pattern of not caring about our own. I have strong reactions when Black people take the position of pull yourself up by your bootstraps, like white people taught us to do. And when they blame other Black people for being poor and they see it as a character flaw. It's not a character flaw. This country is robbing us left and right. I did a TikTok the other day where I was talking about there was an apartment building and someone backed into the building, like hit one of the poles and half the building came down. And we've got like a lot of new builds going up right around where I live. So many new builds. And they are going up so fast. And when you see what these things are put together with, it's just plywood, prayers, and a few accessories. That's what's holding these. And then these new build houses, they want you to give them $1 million for that. For houses that will not hold up under severe weather conditions. And we are going through global warming right now. You need a structure that can withstand strong winds and floods and hurricanes and snow, heavy snow. And right now, my people, I'm really worried about my people because what do they do? What do they do? I didn't really mean to go that deep into it because that's not even what I want to talk about. But I go into this thing of heavy prayer. And I've never talked about that with anyone except you all. Not even my husband. He may see this video, he may not. I may bring it up one day. But I do. I go into heavy prayer. And another person that I am praying for really hard right now is Ibrahim Traore. I am praying so hard for that brother. Because listen, I've said it before. Black people, real liberation real black liberation is going to start in Africa. That's why black people, black Americans and Africans, whatever is going on, these diaspora wars, we need to get the fuck over it. We need to grow up and get the fuck over it. Because at the end of the day, we all black and we're all being treated badly. They recently attempted to assassinate him again, and I knew that was, I mean, who didn't know that was going to happen? This man firmly believes that African resources should be controlled by Africa. And they should be. They should be. He firmly believes that Africans, Burkina Faso, should be benefiting and profiting off of their gold. And anytime a leader steps forward, don't we have some of that shared history, African Americans? Anytime a black leader comes forward and tries to lead the people, they murder him. They did it to Thomas Sankara, and they did it to Gaddafi, and they did it to the Haitian president. And now the United States, because we have so much developed interest in African gold, African resources, they have elevated this coon, Michael E. Langley, first black man to ever reach the status of a 4-star general. And as black people, as African Americans, we should be proud of that. We should be giving him his flowers. But we can't, because he's a coon. And he is talking against and going against Ibrahim Traore and saying that he wants to go all for himself, as if that would be an issue, even if that were true. Because we know what this man has invested in his people by making sure they have access to food and clothing and money, resources. And he is trying to get all of these white folks out of that black business. And they don't like it. France don't like it. The Europeans don't, they don't like it. The Americans don't like it. Because how dare Africa, how dare these black people control their own natural resources? How dare they? They're not qualified to do that. They need us white people to come and step in so we can steal it all for our benefit. If it weren't for African resources, the world wouldn't run. You wouldn't even be able to watch me on your screen right now if it weren't for African resources. Africa should control their own resources. And this man is so brave, knowing what he is up against and what has happened to other leaders in his position. People who had his mindset and said, no, you're not going to continue to steal from Africa anymore. And I tell you, I am so proud of this brother, and I am behind him, and I am pulling for him. But white people, so sinister, so greedy, so jealous, so cruel, so racist and anti-black. It's the way they feel like they should control everything. We got African children working mines, basically enslaved, so that white people can become richer. And so I am praying. I am truly, truly praying for the safety of this brother. But when you see the formula, the way the Trump administration is using this black man, this coon, to to vilify Ibrahim Traore. Same thing that they did to Malcolm, same thing they did to Martin, same thing they did to Freddie. They always get one of us, someone that looks like us, so that they can disguise their brutality. You know, there needs to be a worldwide, a global movement for the decolonization of Black minds. Because too many of us will betray one another. And for a little bit of money. Speaking of which, you know, everything that I have been telling you all that Black people need to be doing right now in order to survive this administration. Now, tell me one thing that I said, if you followed me for a couple of years, especially over on TikTok, one thing that I said that was coming that didn't come. If I say it's coming, it's coming. And Black people are going to need to be in community with one another. And we're going to need to hunker down and do all of the things that I said, I and other Black people have said that we need to do in order to be in community with one another. And so I've been getting out more into my community and branching out a little bit more into the world. And imagine my surprise when I see white people doing all the things that I said Black people need to be doing right now. Everything that I said that Black people need to be doing, I am actively seeing white people do. And you know what that's going to do? That's going to push us further behind. Because we're not listening to community. We're not getting in community. And instead, all we seem to care about, the majority of us, obviously not all of us, all we seem to care about as things get tighter for us and things get worse for us is how we can use each other to come up, to level up as a stepping stone. And that saddens me because it's so unnecessary. We should be holding each other, loving on each other, getting into community with each other, helping each other. Not seeing how we can use the next brother and the next sister to benefit ourselves. We ain't gonna never overcome like that. Never. We have to have gratitude for each other. I think that's another thing that our community is solely lacking, is being grateful for one another. Even when those of you all who use and abuse other Black people, you do it like you have a right. You think like white people. Like as long as a Black person is there for you to use and abuse, it's your right. There are other ways to eat. We don't have to destroy each other in order to eat and feed our kids. We can literally do that by just loving each other. White folks got us fighting over scraps. And not enough of us are seeing it. And it just don't have to be like that. It doesn't. Literally, all you have to do is be in community with your people. That's it. And I get it. Ain't all skin folk, kinfolk. Some people we are not. We are literally going to have to leave behind. Speaking of which, I did a TikTok the other day because I had to leave a couple people behind recently. And I did a TikTok the other day. And I talked about Deion Sanders. And I hate for people to put words in my mouth that I did not say in order to craft their own narrative because they want the subject to go where they want it to go. I wasn't offending Deion Sanders. Literally what the TikTok was about Black people having the right to feel pride in their children too, and raising their children to greatness too. And as for what happened to his son, Deion Sanders voting for Donald Trump is tragic in and of itself. But it doesn't have anything to do with what that kid did to Shador Sanders. Or the fact that had it been reversed, he would have lost his everything and white folks would have made sure it happened. That TikTok was about the fact that Black people, we are entitled to raise our kids to expect a good life. To raise our children to be confident in their ability to thrive. To raise our children to know their fucking worth. And that white people don't get to humble us because we know it. That's what the TikTok was about. That was what I said. Don't lie on me in order to make a point. That is all that I have today. I wish you a happy day. I hope it is a productive day. Do something nice and wonderful. And maybe join me in prayer for the president of Burkina Faso or the leader, we should say. And join me in praying for everyone who is experiencing a huge amount of anxiety right now because their rent is due in a few days and they ain't got it. And remember that if you are blessed enough not to be experiencing any of these issues, you are blessed, and you should pray for those who do not have that luxury right now. Instead of acting like white folks and treating them horribly because they are poor or because they find themselves in these situations, especially in this nation. I hate that so many people have to actually literally experience something in order for them to care or to empathize. That's not the way it should be, especially for Black people. With that being said, if you would like to donate to the platform, buy me a cup of coffee, or contribute to the library pantry, I would appreciate it. Thank you. Have a righteous day. And again, do something nice for someone. Pray for someone today.